This is basically using a 3D tool and using symbols and making your own, like, I guess you could use it for package design, you could use it for making a box look cool, or basically making 3D stuff that you don't know how to do in perspective like I don't. So I use the tools that are in Illustrator to help me with that. Um, Basically what I would do is I would grab the polygon tool and, or not the polygon tool, take that back, the star tool, and I would create a star. But if some of you don't know, if you hold down the mouse button and you press up and down, you could always add more stars. And so with this one, I'm going to create a little triangle. Hold shift, make sure it's aligned. Hold shift, make sure it's aligned. And basically, I'm just making a little design for my little box that I'm going to make. So basically what I want to do is I'm going to go to my Windows, I'm going to go to Symbols, and I am going to select what I want on the box. So I'm going to select this little design that I made. Go up here to Symbols, New Symbol, and then I don't want to do a movie clip, I want to do a graphic, and then you press OK. So now this is created into a symbol. Now what you do is you press M, you make a perfect square. You want to take the stroke off, because if you add the stroke when you go into 3D, it would basically add 16 sides because it'll count the stroke as a side. So you basically want to put no stroke. Yeah, so we go no stroke. And then I'm just, for these purposes, I'm just going to make it gray. Okay, so then I go to Effect, 3D, Extrude and Bevel. And you want to move this to the side so that you can see what you're doing. You go to Preview, and just depending on how you want the box to look, kind of want to get it to where you guys can see it a bit. There we go, 20. Okay, so I got my box, and you're going to look at the options, and however you want it to look, you go to Map Art. When you go to Map Art, you'll see up here that we got a selection of symbols, and over to the right you have your surfaces. So basically this will be, again, you want to move it to the side so you can see your artwork. When you, okay, let me make this window a little smaller. It doesn't want to make it smaller for me. All right. Do something here. Okay, so you grab your symbol that we did a little earlier, okay, and you basically want to scale it to fit. Turn your little preview box on so you can see it on there if you want to move it or whatever the case is. You go to your next side. Now when you click this box, it'll show you what side the little highlight is on, or where that little symbol is going to go into. So basically you just want to keep scaling to fit. Now you can mess around with it, you don't have to scale it to fit. I'm just doing it so that you guys can see how it gets on there. You click it, this is the back side. Obviously you won't see it, but I'm just going to do it anyways to make this tutorial go a little longer. You click this and this will be the bottom. Scale to fit. Now on this one, obviously it's going to be crooked, so you could just go up here and adjust it the way you want to so that it fits on here, so it looks proportioned to whatever angle you have your 3D box or object in. And the last one is the top. I'm going to go ahead and just leave that blank. So then you press OK. You go over here to your options, you press OK. And at the end, you could sometimes move this. Sometimes. I usually just like to expand it. And when you expand it, then you can start modifying little colors and see how it looks. Oops. You could expand little colors to change it, you know, whatever little items you want. And then you make the little box black, and then you can have stuff popping out of it. That's about it. You know, you can always go back into and modify your symbols, but when you expand it, then everything becomes an individual piece, and then you could just modify it however you want. Take things off, add things. But the best thing to do is always create the symbol before you go into mapping all the artwork on the object. So that's like you create a cool little box. That's it.
So basically, your symbol could be your panel in whatever your package is.
Yeah.
For those of you who want to create a digital mock-up for the client and send it to them so they can see what it looks like in 3D, great technique.
If it's a simple square.
What's that?
If it's a simple design.
Yeah. I mean, obviously your package is going to have certain size, but this is just a box, you know.